Hello everyone and welcome back to WeCraft3. Today we're going to make something that I have wanted to make for a very long time, and that is a whip sword. If you don't know what that is, it's a sword that's where the blade is cut into lots of little sections and there's a thread run between the sections so that if pulled tightly the sword becomes rigid and becomes an actual sword, and if let loose the sword becomes floppy and you can whip it around, hence the name whip sword. We have, for the cord between it, we have this strong nylon weave cord. It's nice and strong so it shouldn't break on me, which is good. And for the blade we're gonna go look for some wood. Okay, so here we are at the wood storage of the workshop. Ideally what we're looking for is a nice soft yellow wood so it'll be easy to cut and easy to drill. So we can make the blade nice and blade-like. We're not looking for something too long, something too strong, otherwise we won't be able to easily cut and drill it. So let's look for something here. Okay, cool, back to the sword. So I managed to find this nice piece of wood. It's nice yellow wood. It's got a couple of chips here and there, but that shouldn't be a problem because we're going to be cutting this off for the edge of the sword. Now it has a break here, but again, not a problem. We don't need so much for the sword because I don't want it to be too long or else it'll be unwieldy when in its whip form. So what we're going to do with this, it's nice and soft so it'll be easy to cut and drill. So we're just going to, I think, we're going to cut out the sword shape, the blade shape, and maybe find another piece for the handle, because I don't think this will be ideal for the handle. And we're going to cut out the blade shape, and then we're going to cut the blade into multiple different sections, and then we're going to drill out the holes, maybe drill a channel in on the top of the blade so that the rope can come in, loop around, and then come back to the bottom so we can fasten it nicely. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's get in. Okay, so first things first, we're going to measure out the middle point of this thing so we can cut it out nicely. So we're just going to use this ruler, find the center, and then mark it all the way down the length. And then also we're going to mark how long we want the sword to be, so we can, well, not the sword itself, just the blade, and then we're going to cut it out. Okay, now that we have the jigsaw set at 45 degrees, I am going to clamp the piece of wood in the vise so that it can't slip while I'm cutting the angles. Be careful with power tools, they are dangerous. Okay, a little out of breath after that one. That was a lot of jigsawing. I didn't time-lapse everything because it would have been too long anyway. So anyway, we have this really cool parallelogram shape for our blade now, and a nice point defined. So the next step now is to cut this into sections, a whole bunch of them, and then we need to drill 2 holes down the center, so down here, so that we can then feed this wire through, and then we just need to make a handle that the string will nut into, and then we should be done. Okay, now that we have all of the pieces drilled out, so I have a hole on every single one. How I did that was I took a section, right, and I took its corresponding piece, so 0 and, let's see here, where's 1? 0 and 1, and then I put them together like I had them before. After I drilled 0, then I just took this little horse nail, and I fed it through like this and pressed down, and that let me do a corresponding hole in 1 that would fit perfectly onto 0. And then I just went down the line, so from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on. So now what I still have to do is feed this through all the pieces of the sword, starting at 9 and ending at 0, and then back through. And then I'll feed the 2 cords that'll be left at the bottom through the handle of the sword. Okay, so now we have the actual like blade mechanism done. So you can see it's nice and floppy, so you can like whip it around. It's going to be a bit shorter than I would have originally wanted it to be, but the wood wouldn't allow that. So straight blade, and then if you let it loose, it becomes floppy and you can whip it around.
Is that a euphemism?
That was a bit innuendous, but anyway. So it's cool, it's a blade, and then floppy, and it becomes a whip sword. So next we have to do the handle. So the handle will be going on here. We'll press against this nicely, and then I should be able to hold it, and then I'll make a set knot that goes through on one side. So I only have to pull one cord, and then the blade will become a blade. And if I undo that knot, so I'm thinking of making a wind, and then if I undo that wind, then the blade becomes the whip again. Cool. Okay, well that's me done. So this is how it works. You pull this string taut, so I have this handle now and it has holes drilled in it, and you hook it around a screw that's back here, and then you have this it's more like a dagger than a sword, but there you have it. All the little bits interlock, and then if you don't have the string taut, the blade can flop down and become a whip. So you can whip the blade around, and then if you just pull the string taut again, you have a stable blade again, and this can then slice and stuff. Obviously this is just the prototype. You can always make a more stable version of this, but for now I think that's me done. So thank you all very much for watching. I've been the Green One. Be sure to check out all the rest of the videos on our channel. Drop a like on this one and subscribe. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Okay, now that we have the jigsaw set at 45 degrees, I'm going to clamp